Can I help you with something?
Escúchame, you little dollar store Regina George. If you even look at Gabby the wrong way again, I will grab you by your split ends and shove my foot so far up your ass that the combined knowledge of every bottom who's ever been on Disventure Camp won't be enough to get it out. Got it?
Okay.
What is up, everyone? It's your boy, Disventure Dude, back today with another video. This time, it's my Disventure Camp Season 5, Episode 10 review. Really quickly, I just started this channel out, so if you would like to subscribe, that would be very, very appreciated. And now, onto the review. Episode 10 is pretty good in my opinion, and even though there are some flaws, I think that the good challenge and good elimination make up for it. The interactions that we saw from last challenge were lacking a bit, for example, Gabby and Benji or Rosa and Tom, but it wasn't that much of a big deal. Also, a quick spoiler warning for this video, so if you haven't already watched the episode, I'd suggest you watch it on the official Odd Nation Cartoons channel before you finish this video. Starting off my review with the scene that I found super funny. When I was watching the episode for the first time, I genuinely thought that Tom and Natalia were arguing for real, but the reveal that they were just arguing over which Mamma Mia was better was hilarious. Gonna be honest here though, I am joining Benji in the hasn't seen either club, as I hadn't even heard of either of the films before this episode released. On to the very next scene, which I'm a little more mixed on. I think that Gabby getting upset over Ara's comment from last episode is a little annoying in my opinion, as people call each other annoying all the time in the real world, like on almost a daily basis. I get that Gabby has some problems with herself and that comment probably made her feel really bad about herself, but that doesn't make it much less annoying. Also, for anybody who says that Natalia is just using Tom and Gabby as allies and votes, and doesn't see them as friends, watch this episode. Now, I dare you. Do it. I will wait for you to finish. And then I'll see you bite your tongue after that. And I'll say I told you so. This episode does the Spencer mistreating Bruno plot better than in episode 9, I think. And while Rosa overreacted a little, she did have a point that Spencer was treating Bruno badly, as in episode 6, Bruno literally fell down a super high trapdoor, and Spencer didn't care. It seemed to me like Spencer didn't realize. However, I don't get how you stand on someone to help you with a challenge and not help someone when they stand down a trapdoor, then criticize them for something that they couldn't control and somehow think you're treating them well. Either way, I think that Spencer will start being nicer to Bruno from now on, which is good, as he was completely disregarding his playing from the shadow strategy in mistreating him. Also, now people are shipping Rosa and Spencer, so yeah. Dunia and Nora's scene this episode is great. I think their dynamic is awesome, and it is now, they will undoubtedly end up together by the end of the season. Finally finding out that what Nora wants to do for a job is pretty cool, and I find it sort of funny that when Nora found out she wasn't able to get the job she wanted, she turned herself into the exact opposite of what she would have been. Part of me wonders what the card Dunia picked up, the tower, means, as I know nothing about those cards, so if anybody knows what that means, then please tell me if you can, as it may be relevant in the future of the series. I think that the arc they're starting up for Aluia is fine, but that's all it really is. After her arc about finding a friend and throwing challenges, this is a major improvement, but that doesn't mean that I like it that much. I think that this arc is sort of cringy and stupid, trying to be the better friend, which is why I dislike it, and if this results in Dunia or Ren's elimination, then that would suck so much. This challenge was actually very good in my opinion, and while it's not one of my favorites of the season so far, I still think that it's pretty good. A fashion design challenge is something that I would have expected in seasons 1 or 2, yet it's season 5, episode 10, and we only just got our first one. The challenge was, like in episode 7, more of a social challenge, which as I said back then isn't bad at all, as long as they don't start overusing them. Also, didn't Rosa just tell Spencer not to mistreat Bruno like a couple hours ago? So I would have thought that he may not have forced Bruno to sit out so quickly. Also, is it just me or is the lighting actually really cool in here? I don't know why, I just really like it. Rosa and Natalia's arguments this episode are sort of annoying and it ticked me off a little bit, but it isn't the end of the world. If the rest of their time in the game is going to be spent arguing, then that would get really annoying really fast though. And also, I think that seeing Benji in the middle of their constant arguing was kind of funny, considering that this would be the second time this season where he's been stuck in the middle of a rivalry, the first time being Tom and Alec in episode 5. Allie this episode was pretty good. I'll talk more about her role in the elimination later, but for now I'll talk about Spencer's manipulation. His comment about expecting more from her, while I like Allie, it was true, as this season she was entirely relying on Benji not blindsiding her for the idol and Tom and Natalia staying friends. Spencer's methods of manipulating Allie were pretty good, and I think that him playing to Allie's insecurities about being bad at the game and not playing with strategy was good, even if messing with Allie's issues was a little messed up. I think that this conversation was good, and it gave me the idea that Lake will start up an arc of playing the game harder, and that she will probably go far in the game. I think that by the end of the season, she and Spencer will probably be sort of friendly, even if they aren't best friends, as Odd Nation Cartoons usually likes to resolve these arguments. Also, I do think that Spencer was talking about Logan, but I'm not entirely sure. Ren finding out about Dunia's feelings for Nora is kind of cool, and I hope that in the next few episodes Ren tries to help them get together. As I said earlier, Olivia's arc is sort of stupid in my opinion. However, both instances of her interrupting Dunia and Ren are sort of funny in my opinion. Overall, this episode, Olivia was a mixed bag, and I'm sort of nervous and sort of excited for what might happen in the future with her. Okay, when Aura said last episode that she'd really start flirting, she meant it. I think that soon the love triangle stuff will start for real, and that Dunia and Aura will start their everlasting beef. As I've said before, if Nura wasn't going to happen, I wouldn't mind Nura-Aura happening at all, as other than the fact that Aura is faking everything, they have great dynamics. Natalia absolutely cooked here. Anybody who says that Natalia doesn't care about Tom or Gabby, what do you think of this? To me, this feels a bit exaggerated, as Aura only made one small comment to Gabby which upset her, though. And while I like that Natalia stands up for Gabby, and the fact that it was an incredibly funny scene, I think that if Natalia was a real person, she would have just comforted Gabby rather than tear Aura apart over it, I think. Both of the outfits were pretty cool in my opinion. Rosa's outfit was good, and even if the whole gown idea didn't fit the theme the favorites had. Dunia seemed like some sort of stylish cave person, which I think fit the theme perfectly, as if you were stranded on an island, you would probably end up trying to find shelter in a cave. Overall, it was a pretty good challenge, and the favorites losing a challenge is welcome, as this episode there were a literal 4 sit-outs, which is just annoying to me. And now, on to the elimination. The elimination is pretty good in my opinion, and from what I've seen, a lot of people agree with me on that. Natalia almost revealing her and Fiore's alliance continues to showcase why she's not always great at the game, considering that at this time, neither were in particularly good condition socially, and they definitely didn't need to be enemy number 1. I think that the cracks are starting to form in the Tom, Gabby, and Natalia trio, and that next episode we'll see a lot of tension between them. Tom actually playing the game on flipping on Natalia was cool, because I thought that he would just be comic relief this season, but if he continued to play the game like this, I would not mind him going far. Ali flipping on Benji is a part of the elimination that I don't personally agree with, and probably wouldn't do myself, however, she's very smart for doing it. If I was in the game and my main friend / ally lost motivation, I probably wouldn't blindside them, and instead I'd try to remotivate them. However, with the whole idol twist, Ali's move only gets more intelligent and more worth it. If Ali hadn't blindsided Benji, then he would have stayed demotivated, and she probably would have been eliminated first because she's more of a threat, giving him the idol, but she probably wouldn't have had the motivation to use. Overall, this was a smart move on Ali's part, and even if I wouldn't do it myself, I still respect her heavily for it. I've already talked a lot about the elimination, so I'll keep this quick. As I've said, Ali flipping on Benji was a great move strategically. However, I'm glad that she and Benji at least stayed friends, as their friendship was very good, even if it ended with one blindsiding the other. Ali having the idol will hopefully give her something to do. And while I still hope she goes out relatively soon, I wouldn't mind her making the early to the mid-merge. Benji trying to go to the motel, only to end up giving himself one more shot at the game, makes me think that he will be the returnee for this season. The one controversial part about his elimination is that it was Benji who was sent home and that he had a super unfinished arc, and that's another reason that he's most likely to return, which sort of shocked me as I thought it would be a Fen, considering how many of them are already gone. He did almost nothing for 8 episodes of the season, and when he finally does something in episode 9, it's super short-lived as he's gone the very next episode. This makes the elimination sort of controversial, and while I personally like the elimination, some people are a little more mixed because of that. Episode 10 was pretty good in my opinion, with a decent challenge and a satisfactory elimination. Episode 11 will probably be the episode where things go crazy on both teams, as Natalia's majority alliance broke up on the favourite, and the fans have the love triangle plotline going on. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. My episode 11 review will be out soon. Disventure Dude out.